The court ruled HOA loses the case and must cover all legal fees. I sat back, arms crossed, watching Karen, the clipboard queen of the neighborhood, turn pale like she'd just been banned from Starbucks for life. They say never mess with someone who's bored and has internet access. Well, I had all three. I was bored, I had internet, and I'd just been fined for putting up a swing set for my granddaughter in my own backyard. Didn't bother anyone. Wasn't part of any HOA. And I'm pretty sure only Karen thought it was a threat to community safety. But you want to know the funniest part? Karen thought she knew the law. But she forgot one crucial thing. When you try to force a grandpa to take down his granddaughter's swing, you're not just messing with a hammer. You're messing with the deed to the land. And no, I didn't take down the swing. I took down her entire HOA board in court. Want to know how I did it? Take a seat. This one's worth hearing. My name's James. I've lived in Maplewood Estates for 12 years, the kind of model neighborhood they brag about with the slogan, Community First, though they conveniently forgot to add a fine print disclaimer. Unless your swing doesn't meet code. I'm your classic grandpa type. I mow the lawn every Saturday morning, drink my coffee black, no sugar, and build stuff out of wood to relax. My granddaughter Emily is the only reason I even know what TikTok is. She's 6. She loves swings the way I love donuts. So I built her one solid pine, handcrafted, sturdier than Karen's marriage. Ah, yes, Karen. Karen is the new HOA president, arrived 6 months ago, armed with a clipboard, a navy blue blazer, and eyes like laser levels measuring grass height. She doesn't wave to neighbors. She doesn't smile. She just mails warnings at the speed of a traffic camera. First thing she did? Ban trash bins from being visible more than 6 minutes after pickup. Second thing? Declare war on a little wooden swing set in my backyard. And that, my friend, is when the story took a sharp turn into Karen territory, where HOA bylaws outweigh the Constitution, and a child's laughter is considered a threat to public safety. That swing is not approved under the HOA's exterior design standards, Karen said, lips pursed, gripping her clipboard like it was a court order. It will be removed either by you or by us. I thought I'd misheard. Sorry. Did you just say us? Karen nodded. The HOA board has the authority to enforce compliance if a homeowner refuses to follow approved guidelines. And then, 3 days later, while I was out grocery shopping, the unthinkable happened. When I got home, my 6-year-old granddaughter Emily was curled up on the front steps, eyes puffy and red. I don't understand. Grandpa, why did they take the swing away? They said it was trash and that they were going to throw it out. I nearly exploded. Karen and 2 other HOA board members had entered my backyard without notice, tools and hand wrenches, bolt cutters, and dismantled the wooden swing I had built for Emily last summer. No warning. No court order. Not even a single note left behind. They loaded the planks and chains onto the HOA's utility truck, right in front of a crying child. Karen stood there, arms crossed, in a red blazer and a wide-brimmed hat like she was attending a charity auction. We're simply enforcing policy, she said. Non-compliance will be subject to removal. I was shaking not over the swing itself, but because they did it when I wasn't home. They made a little girl cry in her own backyard, and they laughed when they drove away. That evening, I reviewed my security footage. Just as I suspected, they climbed over the fence, unlatched the back gate, and trespassed no permission, no warrant, no nothing. I called the police. They came, took a report, but since it involved an active HOA dispute, they couldn't immediately press charges. Karen thought her title gave her immunity, but she made one huge mistake. I stayed up all night, reading every line of the HOA charter, every state law on privacy, property rights, and trespassing. And I found 3 fatal flaws in how Karen's HOA operated. Karen crossed the line, and now I wasn't just getting that swing back. I was taking her whole board to court to show them one thing. As a resident, I have a duty to be civil, but as a grandfather, I have an obligation to protect my granddaughter from abuse, no matter how nicely it's wrapped in regulations. The night Karen trespassed and dismantled the swing, I didn't sleep. Not because I was sad, but because I was laughing like a madman. While holding the HOA charter I dug out from a dusty file box dated 2008, the kind of document no one reads, unless they're recently divorced, unemployed, or just got humiliated in front of their granddaughter by Karen. So I started studying. Every clause, every meeting note, every poorly scanned PDF typed in Comic Sans back in the day. And guess what I found? Karen had single-handedly created the rule about permanent backyard structures. No board vote. No approval. No meeting minutes. Just her, a clipboard, and a Google Doc. But it gets better. The so-called enforcement action she took? Totally illegal. It violated state law. She trespassed on private property with security cameras recording. She tampered with personal belongings, no court order, no consent, nothing. Now picture my face at that moment. Smiling like the Joker, but holding a land deed and a civil code book. I called my lawyer. An old guy from Brooklyn named Sal, the kind of man who once sued an HOA for banning clotheslines in backyards. He burst out laughing when I told him the story. "Kid, this HOA just dug its own grave. Our job? Grab the shovel." We started building the case. Security footage from my backyard. Photos of Karen climbing over the fence. The original, unmodified HOA charter. A signed list of residents confirming they were never consulted on Karen's made-up rule. I didn't file an appeal to waive the fine. I filed a lawsuit against the entire HOA board for abuse of power, trespassing, and emotional distress to a minor. Emily even drew a picture of the lady with the hammer who broke my toy. Karen didn't realize the swing wasn't the target. It was the fuse. She started a legal war. I just happened to be the one holding the winning playbook. Karen showed up to court in a charcoal gray pantsuit. Her face stretched tighter than a violin string. She dragged along 2 HOA board members, both looking like they'd been threatened with losing their seat on the decorative shrubbery subcommittee if they didn't tag along. Me? I brought Sal, my lawyer. He was munching on a donut while quoting state law like a battle rapper spitting bars. Right before the hearing, he winked at me and said, "Relax, kid. We've got evidence." They've got Karen. The hearing began. The judge was a silver-haired woman with half-rimmed glasses, looking at Karen like she was deciding whether to call security. Sal opened with the big guns. Security footage of Karen climbing my fence. Photos of the swing being dismantled. The original HOA charter untouched and unmodified. Karen tried to fight back with a PowerPoint. In Comic Sans, the first slide, swings and the threat to national safety. No, I'm not kidding. The judge took about 6 minutes to reach a decision. The HOA had unlawfully trespassed on private property. There was zero legal justification for the removal dar. No resident vote, no meeting minutes, no approval of the rule. And in her exact words, a child swing is not a weapon of mass destruction. Verdict: HOA loses. They're ordered to reimburse all legal fees. Karen is banned from holding any HOA leadership position for the next 5 years. She stood up, wobbling like she just walked through a minefield blindfolded. I turned to Sal. He grinned, raised a fist, and said, "A win for America. And for every grandpa who knows how to use Google Drive." The following week, I got an official letter from the newly appointed HOA Management Board. A written apology, stamped, signed, and included a reimbursement check for $3,120 in legal fees. I stuck it right on the fridge, next to Emily's crayon drawing of the swing and a photo of Karen scowling in court. A modern folk art triptych. Karen, she resigned from the HOA that same day. Last I heard, she's now running a Facebook group about proper flower arrangements around residential mailboxes. I wish her all the best. On another planet, I rebuilt the swing. This time, with polished red oak, Emily's name carved into the seat, and above it, a wooden sign that reads, "Swing Zone, safe for kids, dangerous for HOAs." Every afternoon after school, Emily's laughter fills the yard again. And me? I sit on the porch, sipping my coffee, knowing sometimes justice doesn't come from the courts or from people in suits. Sometimes it lives in a Google Drive folder titled Attachments. The HOA never bothered to read. If you've ever been fined by an HOA for grass growing the wrong direction, a garage door that sounded too loud, or God forbid for hanging a swing, then you, my friend, are on my team. Smash that like button, drop a comment saying "Justice for the Swing," and subscribe to the channel, because the world needs more grandpas who know the law and fewer Karens with clipboards. And remember, next time someone tells you to take something down from your yard, just say, "Please forward that request to my attorney." Thanks for sticking around till the end. You're the real MVP today.